I don't know why I've had so much free time recently. It's weird. It's mysterious.
Okay.
I've been reading manga as well.
Oh, what is that?
I've been doing a Joey.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
What have you been reading?
I've been reading a manga called The Climber, and it's, I think, a fucking masterpiece. Actually,
here we go.
Gigguk
video IRL,
like an actual masterpiece, and I don't know how I would actually do a video on it. It is not a new one. It is a pretty old one. Koko no Hito.
Yeah. Oh yes, I have read the first couple, I think, of that.
Joey's read everything. That's the thing about Joey. Joey's read everything in existence.
Joey has read everything.
Joey's read your birth certificate.
Yes. I've read the first couple of volumes.
Okay, so it's like, let me tell you, it's the best sports manga, but it's not really a sports manga. It's the best sports manga I've seen since, I guess, sports media I've seen since Ping Pong the Animation. It is not it's an anime about someone who discovers like rock climbing and free soloing. But it's not about that at all. It's got a really interesting story behind the story as well, because the first 3 volumes of this manga is your typical like shonen, sports shonen bullshit kind of thing. He like enters this tournament. He has like high school rivals, and then so what happened is that about 3 volumes in, the writer, so there was originally a writer and an artist team up, and the writer just left. The writer, for some reason, just left, leaving it to the artist to come up with the story. So around about 3 volumes in, it just completely shifts from this stereotypical shonen sports manga to this like life manga, and
see, that was the point I dropped it. So that's why I haven't. This is why hearing this part is the first time. Because when I read it, I remembered it as just, it's a rock climbing manga.
Yeah. And so there's a few manga that I've read that has made me feel such like deep emotions as The Climber has. And
so when the writer left, it got better.
It got better.
So when the dude stopped hiring the guy, he just did it himself. He just started making better
it's
stuff.
Like, wow, maybe I'm goated.
Yeah. Because
fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, because slight spoiler. Not really a spoiler, but he just basically just like stops the high school bullshit, puts in a time skip, and he's just like, okay. Okay.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
This sounds amazing.
That's what we want to see.
Yeah, he gets out of high school, right, and really starts to follow the arts of rock climbing properly, and properly tries to he not only like falls in love with rock climbing, but it really uses rock climbing as a metaphor. This sounds so fucking pretentious, but like that's kind of why it's so good. It uses it as a metaphor for his own personal troubles and shit that you hate people for and you hate society for, because one thing that I think was genius that the artist one genius thing that the artist realized about rock climbing and free soloing, right, is so the basis of the final plot is that he wants to climb K2, which is the second highest, hardest mountain to climb in the world. So there are plenty of climbers that have died while mountain climbing, rock climbing, Everest, K2, whatever. And so what he used mountain climbing, like a mountain climbing team for, is he realized that no matter what, you can't pretend to be someone you aren't when you're in a life or death situation on a mountain, right? So when people are in a life or death situation, when your survival depends on your team members and what they decide to do, whether they leave a man behind, whether they go out into a snowstorm to try and find some shelter or some wood or something to help the team to survive, you see people who what they really are, the raw people beneath all of the bullshit masks that they wear in society. And that leads to some of the most like hardest hitting moments and fucking amazing panels I've seen in a manga, and I did not come into it expecting that from a fucking rock climbing manga. It is honestly, I think this manga is a fucking masterpiece, and I've not heard a single person talk about it. So I am talking about it now. If you want to see, if you want to read something that I think is a really, really fucking underrated manga, that has some of the best art I've seen in a long time. Like,
I'm sold.
I feel that's the problem with like a lot of mangas, that like, because there's just so much out there, so much especially that hasn't been animated, that, you know, obviously there are anime fans and there are manga fans, but I feel right now the anime fans are kind of in the forefront talking about all the shows, whereas the manga fans are there, but they're not as, the spotlight isn't put on them as hard. Right?
Yeah.
So there's more instances of people finding these like super unknown yet super amazing manga series that no one talks about because I feel the spotlight is not on them.
Yeah, I just get stressed out knowing that so many manga are ongoing.
This one's ended. This one's
it's ended. Okay,
finished.
good.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
saw this one's ended.
See, when it's
Yeah.
ended, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
17 volumes, I think.
Okay.
17 volumes. Yeah.
That's a hefty amount. That's
a hefty amount. I mean,
say
I
as I'm reading
kind
One
of.
Piece.
Here's the thing. Okay, I kind of realized this after reading The Climber, which is obviously I know in my mind that manga and anime are different. I thought my medium of preference was like anime, but reading this manga. Do you ever read a manga and you're like, there is no fucking way this could ever be a good anime, right?
Where's me Puntun?
Yeah. And it kind of made me realize this is going to sound like really pretentious, like art student talk, but reading something like The Climber, it made me feel like the difference between a manga and an anime is a manga is basically like a one-person team, right? And there's something about the visual storytelling you can feel when you turn on a panel, when you see amazing artwork. There's something you feel. You almost feel like a connection to the artist or to the writer.
Well, it's like looking at a painting at an art museum, right? Of just like, this was knowing that this was made by one person, and like everything about this painting derives from this one person's mind that it came from.
Yeah.
And when you see like a painting that like really connects with you, you almost feel like, oh, I understand what this person was thinking. I understand what kind of person whoever created this thing is, right? So like it makes that connection extra special.
Yeah.
Like, and I totally get that because like with anime, it's a massive team, right? There's lots of different people involved, including the creator. So I feel it's a little, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a lot more difficult sometimes, no matter how good the anime is, to have like that type of personal connection.
Yeah,
right?
because this doesn't apply to every manga, only like the goated manga where I'm like, holy shit, I'm reading something that's making me feel emotions that few media have been able to make me feel, and I feel like this is something that the author is telling me personally, not anyone else. This is something that he's trying to communicate with me, because like